Hey, Tux, come on, let's go, bud. Over this way. Good boy. Good morning. Good morning. Good boy. Wow, the grass is already grown. Hey, sweetheart. Hi. There's Ruby. Well, yay, I get a morning off from not having to walk down the stairs to water the big tree. Since we had 1.5 inches of rain last night, I think I can get away with it today. We're back on schedule this morning. Oh, sun's up. Oh, there's no chance of weather on the way in today, so that's good. Good morning, Ruby. Lead car first thing in the morning. Woohoo! Can't get into too much trouble here, though. As tempting as it is. Wow, I already got to race a pickup truck off the line unintentionally this morning, and it's only 6:53. It was no contest off the line, and then after I had solidly whooped him, I just let him go on down the road. I wasn't expecting that, though. He was just nonchalant on his phone over there. So I'm meeting Don at the Chevy place this morning, which is just as well, because his day today would probably get away from him too. The afternoons are just harder. So coming back through, I'll just stop and pick him up. Place up here on the right. Well, we're entering downtown at 7:11 a.m. It's right on time. Good timing. No real problems this morning, just the normal irritations of people tailgating and being in too much of a rush to get where they're going. That constitutes more than 10 over the speed limit. Although I guess that says the traffic is pretty good if they're able to do that right. If it was too congested, they wouldn't be able to get away with it. Johnny and I saw a lot of Lime scooter activity in the city yesterday afternoon. I haven't seen any other company scooters. Last I knew, Raleigh allowed 3 different companies a license to have scooters downtown, but all we've seen so far this year are Lime scooters. Still a big, to-do about scooters downtown and cars and pedestrians getting along with scooters, and the people that use them love them, though. Most of them behave. Just a few people. Ah, there was an orange, another company. I don't know, Gotcha or something, I think is what that one might be. But definitely mostly lime green. Yeah, we thought Johnny was going straight to his AP Stats class this morning. The only high school class he has over in MLK, which is the blue building off to our left that you can't see from the circle. And then they changed it to go to CB for a morning meeting. I don't know. Johnny will be in this building on the right over here at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock for his computer science and English class. So he'll cross across and be there till the end of the day, which I guess is convenient because then I would pick him up here at the security gate. Although he's going to stay for lunch today and just see what's going on. Probably going to pick him up at 1, he said, so leave home at noon. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're still not sure. And it's liable to vary on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, the exact pickup time. Yeah, Don got called out not once, but twice last night. Once was before I left for Taekwondo. Was that right? Or right when I got home from Taekwondo, I think. That's it. And then again right before we went to bed, which did make us go to bed a little bit later than we might have otherwise. And anyway, there's fallout from that this morning, and so we're now not doing the GMC again. I don't know if we're doing it this afternoon or tomorrow morning or when we're doing. I just go, you know, I'll pick Don up when Don tells me he needs me to pick him up, and I'm totally flexible on it. But hopefully we'll still be able to walk this morning, but I don't know about that either. We'll see. At any point, he needs a few minutes to get ready for dealing with explanations this morning, I guess. The first thing, he just, I don't know. And then the second thing, I think, was a follow-on thing from the first thing. So, I don't know. Hopefully it won't be too bad of a day for him, poor guy. So I'm just hanging out here. I already have ice on my back this morning, so I am going to get up and stand for a minute, but I hate a little bit doing that today because I'll have to try to reposition the ice pack. And I need to go work on some Legos and be standing for a few hours. Typically that helps. So, I don't know. I'll try to think of something to do when I get home. I did not get a response back about where my Legos are. I need my Legos to show up. One of the things Dawn and I talked about, and Johnny and I talked about separately, was what Elon said about the pricing of the Cybertruck at the earnings call the other day. And I guess my take on it is a bummer that they were not going to honor the price that they had stated when they announced the Cybertruck and everybody put down their deposit. We put down a deposit. A bunch of people put down a deposit. But I don't expect Tesla to sell the Cybertruck at a loss. That would not be a good business decision. I know that's one of the things like Sandy had talked about with Rivian and the pricing of their truck. You've got to recoup what you're putting into it. It's not a sustainable business model to sell something for a loss. So, and even a small profit, you know, these businesses in business to provide goods and services, save the planet for Tesla, and make a profit to reinvest in other business ventures, right? So, I guess I think with the inflation and the difficulty sourcing parts and the amount of time that's passed from the, you know, reveal to when they're going to start producing, it's understandable that they would bump the price up some. So I'm not outraged about it in any way. It's just more of like a bummer, you know. Zach and Jesse on the video Don had up last night while I was cooking, basically said they thought the Y had gone up about 25%, probably since, I guess since we bought it. At some point along the way, maybe after the initial price where it had gone down a little bit but then went back up. So they were looking at the prices for the Cybertruck that people had put the deposit down on and then adding on 25%. So instead of like $39,900, maybe $49,900. So a $10,000 or so increase. I mean, you don't want to hear that, but it didn't sound horrible either. And I think Elon did try to clarify that it's going to be packed with features, so you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck still, in his opinion, and I think that's probably true. So Don and I are still occasionally talking about it, you know, because we have the deposit. Don just really wants it to have a mid-gate. He wants to be able to easily air condition the back, and he likes the mid-gate in the GMC, so he wants to have the mid-gate on the Cybertruck. I think his exact words were, you know, I really have to think about it pretty seriously whether I want to follow through on it if it doesn't have a mid-gate. So he's hoping for that, and we'll see, right? There's no rush for us on this. We still have the GMC for truck-like things, and Dawn is investing in fixing it, because whether we keep it, sell it, or, you know, whatever we end up doing with it, the things that need to be maintained, that needs to be done regardless. So, yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, not the end of the world, not what you wanted to hear, kind of understandable in my opinion. Well, Don says he's still able to go for his walk. He'd like to let the dust settle for an hour or so while we're gone. So that works for me. Go inside and refill my water and put on my shoes and we'll go. Yeah, I was gonna say, I looked on the camera a while ago and I had seen Marty was in the middle of the driveway. I'll probably have to get out and move him. He doesn't see the need to move for Ruby. He'll move for the UPS and the FedEx truck though. Hey Marty. Hi. Hi bud. Hi. Oh, big stretch. Hello. I came out to move you. Hi bud. Sun doesn't feel terribly strong yet. Give it some time though. Doesn't feel quite as horrible today as yesterday, maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's not as hot, but it feels worse to me, the stickiness.
The stickiness level. And the trail hasn't been horrible, but we have thrown some stuff off to the side this morning. Well, thank goodness the sun is not strong on top of the sticky air today. But I hear that still Thursday, the cooler air is coming, at least 10 degrees and a little lower and a little less sticky. So I'm holding those weather guys to that. I'm holding them to it.
Yeah, the dew point Friday morning, I think, is supposed to be like 53.
Oh, amen. That'll feel good when I go out there at 6 o'clock. So Zach and Jesse last night said that in an interview, Elon said that he wanted to lose weight.
And we're all for that.
And we've been worried about his health for a while now, ever since, I guess, the Model 3 ramp up production hell. Yep. Sleeping on the couch in the office, not having room, not having time for lots of probably proper things in his life that you would do to stay healthy. So, but our thought, the conversation we've had, and we'll only skim the surface because we never want to be offensive, and we respect everybody's right to make a informed decision for themselves of what they think the best thing to do for them is. But we're very interested after he loses the first 20 or 40 pounds, which we think he will do. And everyone is going to ask Elon with bated breath, how did you do that? And he's going to answer, and we're really interested to see what he says.
That's right. Very interesting.
Yeah. We're hoping for low carb.
Right, and I think it's an automatic 1 meal a day. I think intermittent fasting, I think his time-restricted eating is absolutely going to be part of his journey, weight loss journey. And the reason is, I read Ashley Vance's book, and Ashley describes how he met Elon to do an interview, and he went to a restaurant thinking that that's the right place to conduct a get-to-know Elon, ask him some questions. Basically, if I remember, pretty much Elon showed up, 2 bites, his meal was gone, and the interview was basically
stay on this side, somebody coming.
And so I'm expecting that the 1 meal a day is going to be
Good morning.
Conducive to very conducive to Elon's lifestyle, that he doesn't like to spend a couple hours every day socializing over dinner. He's a get her done kind of eater, you know, cram it down your throat. So I think 1 meal a day, time restricted eating, Matt fits that methodology, his thought process very well.
Right, and a couple other points that we made or thought about or came up in the conversation was that with all of the social gatherings that he goes to, that probably avoiding that social alcoholic beverage, it would be difficult.
And the finger food.
And the finger food that people come by, that's just going to be difficult. And we're scared to death that he might try carnivore, be super successful, say that he's eating carnivore, and the price of meat skyrocket because of all the people that also want to try carnivore. We worry about that a lot, actually. Everybody sort of waking up and deciding that whole foods, the foods on the outer part of the grocery, meat and vegetables even, we'll add vegetables. Non-processed foods are what everyone understands they need and are willing to prepare. Elon can pay to have somebody prepare his, but we all know that the reason why frozen pizzas went out over making home-cooked meals is because of the time, effort, maybe the cost a little bit, that kind of thing. And I told Don that I'm worried that, you know, you're going to lose weight on any diet. Sustained weight loss that you can keep up with is more important which diet you choose, because all of them will work in the short term if you reduce calories, eat less processed food, you know, maybe get a little bit more active. But in the long term, what are you going to do for sustainability? That's where the, you know, that's where the hard part comes in. But I'm worried about stress level, hours of sleep, time spent in the sun, because he's way too pale. I think you got to be outside some. You have to get some natural sunshine, vitamin D. There's no vitamin D in the bottle. Is great if you've got a real deficiency, but better to be outside.
Design reviews outdoors.
Right, or build some office space where they're letting in the natural sun. You know, so circadian rhythm, stress, proper sleep, and sunshine are all going to be factors that he needs to fix on top of food. It's not all about food. It's about hormone regulation and these other things too that are part of a healthy lifestyle. And so I think he could, you know, he can pay to have somebody fix the food that he thinks is right and bring it to him when he's ready to eat or the time he chooses to eat. But fixing these other things is a little more on him. He can't pay somebody to go get sunshine for him or to sleep for him. You know, those things he's kind of got to fix on his own. So, but we wish him luck. We really want him to see. We really want him to go. If we were going to pick one book for him, it would be Gary Taub's. Which one, Donnie?
Why We Get Fat.
Why We Get Fat. Or Good Calories, Bad Calories, because Elon has the... that one is more detailed, and he may want the details. He may need that. Yeah, really ought to read both of them, but well,
Why We Get Fat is
the condensed version.
That cut out all the stories in the back, because Gary Taubes is a really in-depth writer, and Why We Get Fat and what to do about it is you know, 170-page book probably versus 900.
Right, but we suspect, you know, Elon has said that he reads, and you know, maybe that's when he's moving from place to place and he's listening more than he is actually physically reading, which I do a lot of listening to books, and to me is no less of a real read than actually having the page in front of you. But you know, whatever his time allows him to fit in. But so it'll be interesting to see. We value him on the face of this planet, and we would like him to, you know, he's turned 50, and he's going to have to start putting the little cycles into health and maintenance now. He can't necessarily keep on the way he was, so. Hey, you need some sneaker time? I seen you hop down out of your chair and start this way. It's noon and I'm headed downtown to get Johnny. He messaged me. He said the line for the buffet, they have a $5 all-you-can-eat buffet, is so long there's just no way he wants to wait in that. Too crowded, too loud, too everything. So he decided not to eat lunch. He may be still hanging with friends, but not actually eating food. I was thinking about my next Lego project. I really want to build the Addams Family house for Halloween this year, and that's what I was taking a look at. There's no builds for it, no instructions. There are 3 different Lego ideas with a lot of pictures out there, but they were not approved and are not being made, which is a real bummer. And mine will probably end up being some compilation of all of them, and based off of the Disney Princess Castle that somebody did instructions for as a costume shop that I think I can modify to make it look like the Addams Family house. So this will be my biggest free build undertaking yet. And yeah, that was what I was looking at. Well, we've got utility work here today, but not blocking a full lane, and it's also not Friday. And it's a little earlier in the day, I guess. Anyway, I'm glad I wasn't backed up there in traffic like we were a few weeks ago. That was pretty bad. Johnny in the car now. I saw a Model S, an ID4, and a Mach-E all street parked coming past Marbles Kids Museum and around Moore Square. So 3 EVs parked on the side of the street. No chargers over at Moore Square as far as I've ever seen. There is a charger over at Nash Square by Fire Station 1, but not Moore Square. So they were parked, but they weren't charging parked. The Mach-E was white. The ID4 was blue. I'm trying to remember what color the Tesla was. The Model S, gas-free was the license plate, and I was more looking at the plate than the color. I want to say blue. It's 1 p.m. now, and we're headed back to the house. And we're home. At Halloween, I really wanted to build the Addams Family Mansion, and I hunted and hunted for instructions to build it. And although it's been a Lego Ideas, I think 3 different times, maybe 4 different times now, it's never been accepted. And there's lots of pictures of different ways to build it, but there's no instructions. There's all these legal things when you submit it as an idea that preclude you, from releasing the instructions. So this one's actually from like last year, and it had 10,000 supporters, but it did not get approved. Really sad, really sad. But this is the one that I like the most from an outside perspective. There are a few others. I have a scrapbook over here. The main other one is this guy right here, and it's huge. And I do like it, but I don't like it as much as I like this one. This one, the back side of it is open, but it has the really nice red steps and a bunch of the, props and things. This other one, it opens up from the middle, actually. And it does have the greenhouse and some cool things in it, but I like this other one better. So I found a building that's pretty similar in shape, and that would be the costume shop from, which is an alternate build from the Disney Castle 71042. I'll show you what I mean by alternate build. Let me get it back up here. So that's what it would look like. But here's what the set 71040 builds to look like. And if you add a base plate and 12 of these door windows, these really big windows, you can build the costume shop. And you can see that it's first floor, second floor, roof, and the spire, basically, and by the step number where each of these starts as to how to build it. And so there would be some things that would need to change. The door wouldn't be here. The little awning leading up to the door would be over here. These would not jut out, and there'd be 2 windows at the top. But I think the general shape of the building is about the same. And I was hoping, since I've built quite a few of these now, that maybe, just maybe, I could do this. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to build the costume shop, and I'm going to build the Addams Family Mansion at the same time, kind of making modifications and, going as I can. One of the things I thought was really interesting was this is a picture of what the mansion look like on the TV show. And if you look, it's actually been torn down now in Hollywood. What a travesty. But it really doesn't look like that back in the day. This is a piece of artwork that they sort of transformed the actual house to look more spooky and have these other things going on with it. But at any point, you can see the door's not here. The door is really over here under the porch is kind of on the side, and it's got the two chimneys and the four windows up across the top. But it's basically a corner building with the little covered walkway thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking on more than I can manage here or not. One thing with bricks is if you mess it up, you can always pull it apart and either reuse them or retry. Um, I am going to go ahead and get started on these instructions today. I was just doing a walkthrough here of the instructions that it's actually got a really using some heavy, expensive bricks for the flooring. And remember, this person is an alternate build, so they took the original castle and they did that. But this is all covered with floor, and you need the supports where you need the supports, and it's got to be the right height. But you don't have to. I don't have to use these squares. It's not buying me anything, so I'm going to use bricks that are less expensive, maybe have a little bit discolored or something that I didn't want to use for anything else down here instead, because I just don't need these fancy colors or these fancy shapes. But I was just doing sort of like you've heard of a code walkthrough. I was kind of doing a building instruction walkthrough and just checking out what was going to be required. And I think this floor is just way too fancy for what I'm going to need for the Addams family. But at least when I go through and I start building out here, I'll kind of have a feel for how to approach the other one. And I probably have a lot of these bricks, but I ordered bricks for the Addams family because one of the things you might have noticed is that this has special siding, this texture here, and I know how to do that. So I've ordered those bricks, and I've ordered the textured bricks for the roof line also. And I gotta wait for some of that stuff to come in. So I couldn't start this one really today, even if I wanted to, but I don't know. We'll see how far I can get on I mean, I know I can do the costume shop because I have instructions for it. And I think I can probably swap up the colors and simulate this pretty good too. So we'll see. I'm still waiting on my dark turquoise bricks for the so I can finish up the townhome in the other room as well. So one plate for the Addams family and one plate for the costume shop. I'll set one off to the side. If I build anything else, that's the last two green, because all of mine are built on green base plates that I have. These are 32 by 32 stud. The Addams family maybe could be 48 by 48, but I don't think I want to build quite that big of a monstrosity. Time to start on dinner, so I'm stopping for the night. I got pretty far. I'm happy with how it's coming. I'm missing these dark tiles that fill in here pretty easy. You'll see a little bit of discolored bricks. The floor's fixing to go on top. You're never going to see those. All the ones on the outside are new or like new, perfect. I did not use those square pieces that we talked about because they're expensive pieces and there's no structural improvement in the foundation in using those. Those are for keeping a robot together or building a tall structure where you need pins and lots of connection points. So I just saving some money. Don't need those heavy duty technique squares for this. So anyway, it's coming along. I've had a good time working on it. There was no Legos in the mailbox again.